So hello, I would like to introduce to you a new concept in education called Frivoducations. Got this idea from looking at Mr. Bean. I know Mr. Bean is a very funny, very frivolous guy, but the real guy from behind Mr. Bean is actually Rowan, who is serious, highly qualified man. So you combine these two, you have Frivo and Educations. It is a kind of unexpected source of education. I'm going to start with a story of myself. You see the baby there? Yeah, that's me. Yep. And that's my late mom, my late sister, my oldest brother, and these two are the main character in the story. They are naughty, very energetic. They like to run around creating havocs. So one day, these two brothers, my mom and me, we went to a relative house. In order for us to get to the relative house, we have to come across this railway track. We have to cross this railway track. The house is on the other side. So these two brothers of mine, they run away very fast. I have to catch up with them. My mom were behind us, about 30-40 meters behind. I was chasing them. So they were playing near the track. Just out of sudden, a train came and they ran across the track. They left me behind the track. I was like 2 or 3 meters near the track. I was frozen. I didn't know what to do. I was 5 years old. I just, I really didn't know what to do. So they were on the other side. I was on the other side. I was thinking, should I cross? Should I wait? So I got frozen and I waited, and the train came. Oh gosh, it was so forceful, so fast, so heavy. The wind, I could feel the wind on my hairs. I could feel the force. It was like a vacuum sucking me under the train. The force was pulling me under the train. Just when I thought that's it, that's the end, then I saw my mom. She ran towards me, grabbing my hand and pulled me to safety. So that was the day that I almost died, and the day that my mom saved my life. My mom passed away about 10 years ago. I don't think I did enough to make her happy and make her feel proud. So there's a lot of there are a lot of lessons to be learned from this experience. Okay, I hope you get some ideas. That was a story that I can share to a group of friends, a group of students, about an experience, one event that you can never forget. It's the day that you almost died, or maybe a near misses, maybe an accident, a bad accident that put you into a different perspective about life. You are more thankful, you are more grateful because of this particular experience. Anyway, everybody has stories. We have thousands of stories. It's just a matter of recalling and thinking back the kind of lesson we learn from this story. Frivo is the story. Education, the education part, is something that you learn from that story. Many stories that you can share, many experience that you can share. Um, I, I mean, 15 years or 20 years ago, when I started to join the university, discovered all kind of people as our academic staff, and one of the academic staff there that was not very popular among the lecturers. It's a guy, it's a man. He was being overly critical. He he never very difficult for him to laugh. He always very serious. He yelled at people, not very likable personality. So not just me, I figure out many others did not like him. So it just so happened that one day the department had this getaway where we had meetings and discussion about the strategies of the school. So we had to stay a night in a hotel by the beach. So that particular late afternoon, I was walking alone on the beach, and I saw this guy that we didn't like on the beach. He was walking with his son. I saw it's like 50 meters away from me. He was talking to his son. He was not like he used to do. He was being very, very fatherly, very loving. He was being very different from what he used to be. I saw this. I couldn't believe my eyes. Totally different perspective, totally different side of him. So I look at him, I look at the son. The son was being educated about the marine life, about the sustainability, about the earth. Wow, he was being a good father, loving, fatherly, that totally different from what I know him before. So my perspective changed. I did not, from that day, I did not judge people anymore. I think everybody is the same. People are just people. They're not mean, they're not angry. That's just their characters. Behind all these characters, they are loving, they are happy actually with their families. Sometimes when they come to work, they become serious because they use their brain fully. They cannot control their willpower maybe. Okay, so this is a story that maybe you have this experience. You experience traveling overseas. You meet people, they look nasty, but at the end you discover through experience that they are very nice people. It should change your perspective. Well, I've been to England 5 years, first degree and then PhD. I also played football for the campus. Our team was very active. We had matches everywhere. After the first match, the pitch was really wet, so we were all dirty before we can join. Before we can get into the van of the university. It is a procedure to take shower. I didn't know that they have a very strange culture over there in England. The shower was open like that. I didn't know. So when everybody went into this locker room, everybody was, I saw these boys. They were taking their clothes, their jerseys, the shorts, one by one. And everybody got naked, and everybody went to this shower all together naked. Gosh, I was the last to join them. I had no choice, but it is a culture shock. I had to see naked English boys. If you do it here in Malaysia, well, that is totally unacceptable. But in England, that's nothing, man. Everybody got naked in shower. Okay, you can share anything to a group of friends, a group of students. In this case, if you are from overseas, your first time in Penang in Malaysia, first time experiencing a restaurant called Nasi Kanda, you may want to share your experience, the kind of dish that you like or you dislike. What was your expectation, and then how did you feel after enjoying the meal there? Or maybe you had experience in the 5-star restaurants, fine dining. What is the best place to be? Recommendation, and just describing your experience will give us some kind of education for us to get to know you. We know each other beyond professional boundary. We now know each other from personal experience. Yep. Some of us, we travel abroad a lot, but remember the first time when you landed in Heathrow, when you landed in New York airport, and then you started to figure out how to get to your destination. The first time you see people, you don't know what to do. Your English was not as good. You couldn't find the right word. They couldn't understand you. You tried to talk to them, they could not understand you. And then when they talk, you couldn't understand them. So it was an experience. You realize that your English was not that good. You have to do a lot more to learn and to practice. This is one of our students from Thailand. Can't remember his name though, but he shared his crazy for Netflix. He follow a particular dramas, and he talk about the series. What happened from this chapter to another chapter, and why he loved Netflix so much. Interesting, because I myself haven't seen Netflix. So everyone has experiences. To most people, experiences are significant and ordinary, just experience, but we can turn this experience into significant source of learning. If you're there, you have to find ways how to articulate your experience into stories, and then share it with your colleagues and friends, then turn it into source of education. So when you come together, you scramble people, we share our stories. It become a de-stressor. It become a social glue. You get to know each other. It's not just like a normal class. You have coffee there, you have cakes, you talk like a social event. This is the time that you can laugh about it. It's a happiness. It's about being being loving and respecting each other. It gives you some kind of awakening, the kind of person you think your friends are. Actually, by knowing their experience, you figure out there is different side of him or her. Alright, so we use Mr. Bean as our model here to extract education from experience or extract education from social interactions. Frivoducation provide another dimension of educations. In the university, we are trying to come up with this HEBAT. On Malay we call this hebat, holistic, entrepreneurial, balance, articulate, and then thinking. By doing this, we can create interracial, intercultural competencies, social ethics. Students can be more street smart. They become more open-minded when they get to know your stories. It is a skill to seek values from experience. So one person, maybe a lecturer, will be appointed as Frivo coordinators. Hopefully this particular person will balance between frivolous activities to make sure that it is not too frivolous, and then balance with the education part. If it is too educational, it's going to be boring. It's like normal lecture, normal classes. We want to balance between something frivolous and something educational, 50-50 hopefully. Okay, so that is my sharing, what we call here as Frivoducation, unexpected source of learning. You can do it at your universities, at your colleges. It's a way to distress, to get to know each other from each other experience. Okay guys, happy learning.